back to another special E3 2016 episode of There Will Be Expletives. I am Geoff.
I am Ron.
And today, Ron, we are going to be covering Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo. So why don't you get us started? We got a lot to get to. You're starting us off in chronological order with Ubisoft.
Ghost Recon Wildlands. If this is the game that I'm remembering, some pretty sweet gameplay.
Yeah, this was the one where they had the gameplay trailer of them extracting Walter White from the compound.
As he was melting a dude in a vat. Yeah. That's what I was thinking it was. As I said, we absorbed so much through E3, I can't even keep them all straight. But looked pretty fun. Tom Clancy games I always have respect for, even if I don't play them. So...
Of course, if we actually did that, we'd be fucking dead first person in the compound.
Oh, yeah. As you mentioned in the trailer, the physics are pretty impressive in that game.
Yeah, they have a really, really cool shot of when the guy disembarks off the motorcycle and it skids underneath the truck, and the truck actually shows suspension.
Yeah, it reacts.
It's really cool.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on in that trailer and in that game. It's definitely at least worth a rent.
To me, with that one to me screamed, you got to play it co-op to really enjoy it. I think pretty much rent it, co-op it up with a buddy, and if you both enjoy it, then if you really, really like it, you go ahead and buy it. But that's probably my recommendation.
What I would be more interested in, I think, is if the Sicario people made it into a movie, because that was fucking amazing.
If
nothing else, it'd be fun to watch on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
Next one, the sequel no one asked for, is Watch Dogs 2. I still never played the first one.
I haven't either.
But
I've seen a lot of it, and I don't want to play it because the storyline looked 2/3 the way done. Yeah. It was pretty brutal.
This one doesn't necessarily interest me, but it looked cool.
They have some cool.
The graphics in it were very pretty.
The graphics were really pretty. They have some really cool concepts going for Watch Dogs. The problem is the first one felt like 2/3 a game.
What I remember from the first one is it seemed like a solo person. This seemed like a team.
Yeah. The first one, it was just kind of
Troy Baker, wasn't it? Because game.
Actually, I don't remember. He might have been too busy doing all the other 3,000 games to actually do Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me. But with Watch Dogs 2, the only reason they're getting a sequel is because their first one was a fucking lie, and it looked amazing. Everyone went out and bought it, and it made enough money where they could get a sequel. But it was one of those games where it was just the best I ever heard about Watch Dogs 1 was that, it's okay. So why the fuck would you make a sequel?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was just for money, and I actually think I hope it's good, and I hope the people who stick with it are rewarded and have a good game.
I like the concept.
Yeah, it is.
So I would like to see them do something else, but yeah,
if it's anything near 1, it will be a gigantic letdown.
Yeah, it was not him.
Was it somebody random?
It was, someone I do not know. Noam Jenkins.
Troy Baker actually usually gets good roles, and that was a boring ass protagonist. Just throwing that out there from what I saw. Let's actually talk about something fucking worth talking about, Ron.
Oh yes. South Park Fractured But Whole.
I'm done. There's my $60.
All you need to know is that name.
Did you actually see their article? Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
I was about to say, dude, I know these names.
We were just talking about Troy Baker as a spoonerism. Trey and Matt were doing an interview with Entertainment Weekly, I believe, and they were going back and forth about whether or not they wanted to make a second game, because it's notorious a pain in the ass to have a game with that much detail as far as being a good callback to the show, because there's fucking Easter eggs all over the goddamn place, even menus. And they came up with the name Fractured But Whole. And they were like, well, shit, we have to make the game now, because at the very least we get to walk around E3 and see in gigantic, bold fucking posters the Fractured Butthole.
I love those guys, dude.
Right? I love them.
Yeah, no, watch the trailer.
There was I encourage people to actually just watch the portion of the Ubisoft conference, because they were actually, Trey and Matt were there. They're hilarious as always. and they have a lot of good little tidbits. They had gameplay footage. And at the very end, fantastic, hilarious fucking trailer. We won't spoil any jokes because you just have to watch it. It's fucking hilarious though, because this is a gigantic parody of Marvel and DC.
Yes.
Fucking glorious. And if it's anywhere near the quality of Stick of Truth, with Uncharted and Souls being done, might be my favorite ongoing franchise. Like, I fucking love me some Stick of Truth, dude. I love me some Stick of Truth.
Oh, man. Yeah, here's the thing that I found interesting also. If you pre-order the game, then you get for free, right? The Stick of Truth available now?
Yep.
In digital download?
Yep.
So.
If you get a pre-order in for Fractured Butthole, you automatically get Stick of Truth no matter what, even later on. But if you pre-order it, you do get access if you want to right now.
I feel like most of the people that would be buying this game, or pre-ordering it especially, would probably already own Stick of Truth. But that is a really cool way to bring people into the franchise.
Mm-hmm. And even, I mean, hell,
it's worth free.
A lot of people do what I do. Is they will go and sell the games back if they're not going to be replaying it a lot.
That's true.
So they'll get a new copy of it. Like, I will, if I pre-ordered, I would get a new copy because I no longer own it, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think I sold it back. But yeah, a really, really cool thing they didn't have to do.
Here's the thing. If nothing else, you and I are usually against pre-ordering. That's 2 games for the price of 1.
That was actually in my notes. I put an actual freaking pre-order bonus finally, because usually it's all, here's a skin.
Right.
Isn't that fucking cool? No, yeah, I really, because they didn't have to do that, and they did a good thing to me. And
here's an odd one to me that I probably will not be getting, but I'll probably be watching, and that is For Honor. It's kind of a cool concept. I like the concept of the gameplay, but it just doesn't jump out at me as something that I want.
I like what I'm seeing from the combat.
You're more concerned on if they can actually pull it off convincingly.
Pretty much my whole thing is if they pull it off, I think it'd be really, really cool. It is a hard conceit to pull off and make it feel...
It seems like a mechanic to me that basically, as the game progresses, they just try to make that same mechanic. Not only will it be more repetitive, but just more difficult and impossible. It doesn't really seem like something to me that can evolve as the game goes along.
What's interesting...
I could be completely wrong. I've only seen the E3 trailer.
What's interesting about it is it's make or break.
Yeah.
And
it's either going to completely define a whole new franchise, or you're never going to see it again. It's just going to go by the wayside.
I appreciate the ballsiness of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll give them that. And it looks like a gorgeous game.
The finisher moves are badass.
It looks like they put a lot of time and effort into it. I give them that. I mean, it looks like they... really are trying really hard at something.
I also really, really like their head developer who they keep having on stage. Because when he goes up and talks about the game, he talks as if he's running a D&D campaign.
Yeah.
He's super enthusiastic about it. He seems like a really, really cool dude.
It's not like the No Man's Sky.
Oh, God, don't talk about that fucking game.
Where we can talk about how expansive the
Look
game
at the
is.
fish.
Catalog
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I had, the mechanic we're talking about, pretty much if you hold up on, I believe, the right thumbstick, left or right, actually orients where you're blocking and how you're attacking with your melee weapon, which should be really, really cool to pull it off, or really, really repetitive and bad. So
yeah, I see it going really, really repetitive while cool at first. But like I said, they could. Who knows how they can mix it up? I've only seen the trailer.
Because when you think about it, theoretically, Dark Souls combat should be repetitive, but it's always fun.
Yeah,
it's all depends on how they pull it off or not. So we'll have to wait and see. Definitely a rent for me though. I think I'll rent it and check it out.
Yeah,
and just to satisfy my own curiosity, if nothing else.
Something else is The Division. I love your note on the DLC / Nobody Cares.
Oh, The Division.
Yeah, so there's that.
Ubisoft is the fucking king of just throwing shit out that no one is asking for. No one fucking...
People are apparently buying it, though, because not only are they still around, they keep doing it. With every franchise. So it's apparently working.
Oh, well, until it bites them in the ass. That's why we don't have an Assassin's Creed this year.
One that surprised me to see in the notes that I didn't even hear about until I saw your notes was Just Dance. Really?
The only reason I added this was because I thought it was hilarious that Ubisoft's first game for the Nintendo NX is Just Dance. I'm not saying Just Dance is a bad game, but to like lead off one of the next generations of consoles for Nintendo, like that's pretty shitty.
Yeah, that's... I don't even know.
Maybe put your best foot forward a little bit better, Ubisoft.
Now, one thing that I heard is pretty good that I missed, that I meant to check out before tonight, was Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Yeah, it actually looked pretty interesting.
I heard that I didn't hear, like, the things that I read did not say, like, oh my god, it's amazing, but that everybody seemed generally interested in it.
It's a great idea because the Bridge Crew idea is pretty much you, and it was cooperative too.
That's interesting. I didn't hear that.
The demo for it, they had LeVar Burton, who's from the Star Trek The Next Generation, Jerry Ryan, who's from 7 and 9 from Voyager, and Carl Urban from the current movies as Bones.
Fuck yes.
They were doing an actual demo where one of them was the captain, one of them was the engineer, and the other one was like the one of the other science officers or something. And they were actually like communicating back and forth and going after Klingons and shit. It's like really, really clever VR idea, which I overall have been incredibly pleased for the most part. Out of like probably 80% of the VR stuff was actually some cool ideas. You got fucking Batman. You got fucking Star Wars, X-Wing, Rogue Squadron shit. You got Star Trek running a Bridge Crew. Like, it wasn't, like we said in the previous podcast, it wasn't fucking Kinect kickball.
And it's worth mentioning that it wasn't just throwing out names for the sake of throwing out names. Like, they didn't just toss out Star Wars and Batman for the hell of it. They actually had some genuinely cool ideas with those properties.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive. Because usually when you hear that many well-known names and franchises, it's usually not a good sign. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's everything that I heard was kind of cautiously optimistic with it, which is unusual. Usually there's either a lot of left and a lot of right, or just everybody universally hates something.
At the very least, they were incredibly clever about setting up their trailer and demo because you want to appeal to Star Trek fans.
And it sounds like a pretty awesome way to pull off a Star Trek game, because that's a lot of what Star Trek is.
And it's also just kind of a crime how we've never really gotten a good Star Trek game.
Yeah.
How do you fuck up Star Trek?
I know, really.
It's like, dude, just fucking make Mass Effect, rip it off, and throw Star Trek skins on it, and you're fucking done. How has that not been done yet?
I have no idea.
I don't even understand.
Something else that I guess we probably don't understand.
Oh my god, this pisses me off.
Why don't you tell people about Trials of the Blood Dragon, John?
Oh, okay. Do you know what fucking Far Cry Blood Dragon is, Ron?
No.
It was the game that was a little, almost like joke spin-off DLC of Far Cry 3, and it was fucking glorious. Because what they did was they made it a parody of 80s action movies and 80s sci-fi.
Okay.
There's it's Ron Crack, because it literally opens up with the fucking Predator scene. They're playing Long Tall Sally up in the helicopter with a minigun.
Really?
Your gun is the RoboCop gun. It is all just like this really, really fun little DLC, and everyone pretty much liked it better than the actual Far Cry 3 game. Yeah, it was really fun. Michael Biehn was the main guy, and his fucking name was amazing. Rex Power Cult was his name. It was really, really fun. It was like a little 6-hour DLC. It was fucking amazing. I think I actually had it bought digitally. I'll let you sign in as me one day and play it. I think you'll really like it. And everyone loved it. And do you know what Trials is? It's the little fucking side-scroller biking game.
Oh.
They made a Trials game with a blood dragon skin.
Why? That sounds awful.
And people went apeshit.
Did they really? Like, good or bad?
Bad.
Okay,
people are pissed, and rightfully so. I'm pissed too. Like, if you're not going to make another thing with it, then don't ever fucking turn it into a fucking Trials skin.
Yeah,
you're just going to piss off people. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why? But yeah, before I fucking pop a gasket, why don't we talk about some goddamn Sony?
Fuck yeah.
How good was that? You watched like half of it because I skipped like the highlight reel for you.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Oh, dude. Sony knocked it out of the fucking
I watched
park.
this shit live, dude, and multiple times. I was getting goosebumps. It felt so much fun to be part of a chat with it.
This E3 was all about Sony.
Crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. We should preface it by saying how awesome was the orchestra.
Oh my god.
That
alone tells you that they already knew going in that they won E3.
And what's fucking astounding to me was because if anyone needed to come out with an orchestra, and for the first hour of their conference, pretty much 55 minutes of it was this raw gameplay. There wasn't any dicking around, really.
No, there really wasn't.
There was a little bit of them going out and having the heads talk about, just general shit about Sony,
but
there wasn't a lot of horseshit.
They knew everyone's there for the games, and they gave you games.
This was the conference Microsoft should have come out guns blazing with, because they are fucking behind in a big bad way.
Yes.
And then Sony came out, didn't even have to. Sony could have put out a fucking product half as good as this conference.
Oh, yeah.
And, instead of double the sales, there's just a slight uptick in, decrease in the gap. And they could have gotten away with it. And they came out fucking hardcore guns blazing. It was an amazing conference. It was fantastic. And they opened it up.
Right now, video game consoles are basically in the age of Sony. And they are well aware of this fact.
Apparently Microsoft isn't. I don't know how.
They're too busy trying to emulate Apple.
Yeah, and it's not going to work out for them.
It's not so far. Because there's one thing hardcore Microsoft fans love more than anything, and that's Apple.
Well, did you hear, to actually exit the stage room after the Microsoft press conference, you had to upgrade to Windows 10. So, but let's get back to the Sony conference. They opened up fucking strong with goddamn God of War, and no one knew this was a thing.
I always wanted to play God of War, but never so much in my life have I ever wanted to play God of War than after seeing that trailer.
It looks so good. And dude, how awesome was it to hear the crowd reaction when you hear him talk and you're like, that kind of sounds like Kratos, but I'm not sure because I haven't heard goddamn anything about God of War.
Yeah.
And when fucking Kratos walks out of the shadows, the whole crowd went nuts, and it was amazing. And it was like I was in the chat on a website watching the Twitch stream, and everyone was all caps like, "No, what the fuck's happening? No way!" Because I love it when they're able to somehow in 2016 keep the shit under wraps.
They totally J.J. Abrams did.
And Sony, J.J. Abrams, a lot of this shit that we're gonna get to. Yeah, the God of War reboot is a full-on reboot. They've completely changed the gameplay. I liked the gameplay of the originals, but it felt kind of dated by the time they got to God of War 3 and Ascension later on. They have made it third person, and it is pretty much Last of Us because you have I guess it's this kid who's kind of be like your companion,
something like that, which is pretty ballsy because that is a mechanic that can make or break the game because it all hinges on how much you like the kid. So
their dialogue back and forth was really good.
Yeah,
it was very compelling, especially Kratos being an asshole to him.
Yeah,
he was almost like Batman and Robin, just being a dick to him, which I approve of.
Being a dick to dick.
Yeah. Gameplay awesome. It's all about Norse mythology, which actually might intrigue me for Kratos more than the original Greek stuff, just because he has a fucking Mjolnir axe, man.
Dude,
how metal was that?
Not only that, how often when anything goes into mythology do you fucking hear about Greek or Roman mythology? It's always Greek or Roman mythology. And yeah, we've got Thor movies, but that's because Marvel. You don't really get much Norse mythology.
I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Cannot wait. They got my $60, I think, for that one. It looked fucking cool.
Yeah, I'll probably be playing it too.
Yeah. This next one, man.
I have no words.
Oh, Sony, you understand how big of a deal it was getting Hideo Kojima because
that was an incredible entrance.
His entrance. First of all, another thing, their stage was fucking incredible.
Yes, it was.
The effects they had, I don't even want to know how long it took them to set that shit up. It all went flawlessly. It all looked fucking badass. He walked out on almost like Rainbow Road looking shit.
I thought Michael Jackson.
It
was where my mind
was
went.
I was so happy.
Smooth Criminal sidewalk lighting up Michael Jackson.
I was so happy for Kojima because the Nazis, you go from not even being able to attend the video game award show and accept
to owning it
to walking out like a goddamn a full-on rock star, which he should be. He's earned it after 30 goddamn years of writing Metal Gear games. He is.
I couldn't be happier for Kojima.
I'm so happy for. I've never even played a Metal Gear game, and I'm so happy for him.
It's not like he was unsuccessful before, but he was always kind of in the shadow of Konami, and they kind of had him on a ball and chain for a while, and now he's free to do whatever the fuck he wants, and he's free to be in the limelight where he deserves to be, because without him, there's no Konami.
And what's crazy is they could have walked him out, had him do the little Michael Jackson stage show like you pointed out, and then he'd be saying, I love his line too. He's like, "Hello everyone, I'm back." And everyone goes crazy. I loved it.
And in English on his own.
Yeah, I believe it was the first time he's ever spoken English at a press conference type thing.
It was really strong English too.
It was like electric.
Yeah.
And it was really, really fun to watch. And he could have walked out, shown his studio's fucking logo,
which is badass,
and that could have been it, and they still would have done all the awesome PR and goodwill they got from it. They had fucking one of the best trailers from the you don't even know what's going on, and I want it.
They got my $60.
It is fucking awesome. So the trailer, highly encourage you to check it out. It is very, very strange imagery going on the entire time. You don't know what's going on. That's a good thing. Ron and I always say we love when trailers get you really, really excited without telling you a goddamn thing, which is exactly what this does.
It's supposed to be a tease, and that's exactly what this was.
Why the video game industry gets this and Hollywood doesn't is beyond me, but that's a different podcast in its own. But yeah,
that's an entire podcast on its own.
Norman Reedus, when they show him in his full mocap glory, in all of his glory, if you know what I'm talking about, when he's fucking naked on a beach. The crowd went nuts for that too. Everyone loves Norman Reedus. And how fucking cool was it that he brought Norman with him from the Silent Hills debacle?
Oh yeah,
fucking awesome, dude.
And to keep a lid on that, no one knew until the camera panned around in the game.
Norman Reedus talked about being excited about the prospect of maybe one day in the future making games with Del Toro and Kojima again.
That was the last we heard of it.
That was it. That was like a year ago, I think. A long time ago.
Close to, if not.
And we got a badass trailer. We don't know what's going on. It's fucking awesome. And Death Stranding is the title.
Yes. And metal title.
Love everyone involved.
I'm pretty sure my favorite death metal band of all time was Death Stranding.
I cannot wait. They got my $60. I've never even played a Metal Gear game, and I'm so excited. I can only imagine the Metal Gear fans going crazy for Kojima, because I've always wanted.
How awesome if Norman Reedus is naked the entire game.
In VR.
In VR.
He'll look down.
It would be #1 video game sales of all time, and it's all women buying it.
Oh, yeah. That is an entire market that is just waiting to be tapped.
I see what you did there, sir.
I am super stoked for this. They got my $60. Probably going to be next year at E3. We'll probably get some gameplay footage, I expect. Probably a little bit more next year, but I cannot wait. Next up, we got an official release date for Last Guardian, the spiritual successor to Shadow of the Colossus.
Meh.
I am still stunned this game even exists, because this has been in development hell for like 12 fucking years.
Hey, Blizzard can pull off 12 years making a game.
I really like Shadow of the Colossus, but by the time I played it, it was so late in the game where I think you really, really needed to be playing it at the time of release to really appreciate it, because at the time it was like a graphics game changer for PS. I think it was PS2 actually, or really early PS3. It's an old game. I will probably give it a rent, because they're usually pretty short games.
I'm kind of surprised too, because not only has it been so long, its following is more of a cult following, right? It's not like a massive phenomenon worldwide.
It is. Like the people who are into it that's like their favorite game. I really like Shadow of the Colossus, but I didn't.
It's all just meh to me. So
it's not
made for me. Apparently,
it's cult and it's niche. Like if you're really into it, you're really into it. But if you're not, it's just it's not gonna even blip on your radar.
Yeah.
Speaking of not blipping on Ron's radar, that is Final Fantasy 15. With the caveat of coming to VR Sunday.
Yeah.
But you can play as... Okay, have you ever heard of Prompto?
Nope.
Okay, I don't know who Prompto was. I thought you might. I don't fucking know anything about Final Fantasy, so... Moving on. Horizon Zero Dawn of Mustus. That is what Geoff has titled this in the comments. Geoff still doesn't care. That's what I wrote down, and that's factually correct. Did you get anything out of their trailers for this?
Not really.
So they demoed this shit last year, right?
Uh-huh.
That's not teaser trailer. Some gameplay last year. And it was trapping and killing robot animals. And a whole year goes by, another E3 comes upon us. And guess what happened in this year's trailers, Ron?
Don't tell me. Did they really?
OMG, they trapped and killed some robot animals.
Fuck yes, I was so worried they
Third
deviated.
act plot twist. I don't get it. It's pretty. It might be fun. After 2 years of E3 shit, I would like to know what the fuck's happening.
I'll even give them that it's kind of an interesting concept, but I don't care.
If you don't have anything to show, then give me a teaser trailer where I can forgive you for it. Like Death Stranding. I don't get it.
This is the very rare example of you need a very cinematic trailer. Because the gameplay alone, not going to do it.
And it wasn't like it was like a minute or two of gameplay. It was like 5-8 minutes long of gameplay.
It was repetitive. They didn't show you anything that mixed it up at all.
It was like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
And Far Cry Primal mixed with Deus Ex.
No, I'm just specifically talking about Tomb Raider. If there wasn't a plot and your goal was to shoot the rabbits. I just don't get it. People seem to be interested in this. You gotta show me more. Gotta show me more. Next up, Detroit Become Human. Next from the Heavy Rain developer David Cage, Quantic Dreams, the studio. This is... All of his games are basically a spiritual successor of the previous game, and those are, as I previously stated, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, I believe was his most recent one. Did this catch your eye at all?
It's an interesting concept. It's one that has been done before. It's what Deus Ex tried to do.
Dialogue X.
Dialogue X.
Thank you very much.
As we have dubbed. If you can pull it off, I can see it being good. It's probably one that I would check out on YouTube. It's probably not one that I would even rent.
My whole thing, I actually kind of lumped this in with For Honor.
Okay.
If you pull it off, cool. You gotta prove me you can pull it off.
Here's the thing, though. You gotta convince me very early on in the gameplay. Because if you're gonna give me, 30 hours or whatnot of people talking and you making a decision, and it's not convincing, then you've lost me very quickly.
And he's actually not on too much of a hot streak because everyone seemed to really dig Heavy Rain. I heard nothing good really about Beyond Two Souls.
Which is sad because it looked really fucking cool.
It was one of those things too. It's like it looks really cool.
William Dafoe and Ellen Page.
It's like one of those things where like it looks really cool, but they just didn't really pull it off. Like. It's just kind of sucks. There's a lot of potential there, but he's just... I don't even know what to say about it. We'll just have to wait and see. It's one of those things, too. Game like that needs to have a constricted time frame as far as how long you're going to be playing it. I don't want to play 30 hours, like you were saying, of Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah.
Telltale gets in, you're done. There's no real dicking around in Telltale. It's not like a 30-hour game.
Yeah.
It works for that, and maybe they should take a little
They're
more
very good at keeping it concise.
Yes. Let's see. Next up, one of the other things that blew everyone's goddamn mind was this, Ron. And I am so excited for this. So, they start showing this first-person horror game with no prelude to what the hell you're watching. And it's atmospheric as fuck. It's really grabbing everyone's attention. Everyone's freaking out about it.
It's better. This trailer alone is better than most horror movies out there.
I completely agree. And you get all the way through it, and it's fucking Resident Evil 7. Yeah. I can tell you from seeing a chat room full of people.
When I think Resident Evil 7, I think arcade-style zombie shooter.
And that is why I thought this was a stroke of fucking genius, because...
Resident Hills?
Exactly. I was so devastated to see Silent Hills get canceled, because it looked so fucking cool in PT... They had my $60 and I'd never even played a Silent Hill game. Although I'd watched the movies, I thought the movies are all right.
Yeah,
they're solid, especially for video game movies.
For video game movies, they're probably some of the best ones.
I agree. Sean Bean didn't die. That's fucking crazy. That's a third act plot twist. With this though. It was like we got the best of both worlds almost. Because we're getting Silent Hills and we're getting a Norman Reedus and Kojima game.
Yeah.
So it actually kind of worked out, and I'm really excited to play this. I have never played a Resident Evil game, but I've watched their movies. Yeah, there's some better than others. They're not horrible. They got my $60. I'll fucking play this shit. I still need to play the demo we haven't got a chance to check out yet.
Yeah.
That was the other thing of note. The beginning hour demo, as it's titled, is available now for PS Plus subscribers. I have it downloaded, so does Ron. We just haven't got a chance to check it out yet. Might be doing a Let's Play of it at some point, we're not sure. But I cannot wait to check out the demo. I actually downloaded a fucking demo. You know the last time I played a demo?
The other cool thing is that it has nothing to do with the game. It is not gameplay.
Yeah, it's just like PT.
Yeah.
It's a tech demo.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
And they said, though, what it does have is it has all the elements that the game itself has. So it's still a good analog to the game, but they're not spoiling any of the game for you.
Yeah, and I was saying...
Fucking fantastic.
I can't even tell you last time I played a demo. Or was even going out of my way to play
I miss the days of demos. Games hit a lull where they just were not that good for a little bit. And that's around the time they quit doing demos because people quit buying games because they played the demo and hated it.
Yep.
So
yeah, but yeah, I was excited to play a fucking demo, and that has been taking a long time. It also shows you a good sign. The shit doesn't come out until January, and they were confident enough in their tech demo that they just threw it out there. Like, go enjoy it. Like, they're really confident in it. And I think it's really, really genius to go back to more horror elements because people have been complaining since Resident Evil 5 that it's been more action for a long time.
Well, not only that, I like that the video game industry has all of a sudden figured out to make the horror genre atmospheric. Because it is the best vehicle for them, because when you play a game, you're much more immersed than you are in a movie.
You know what also helps that? I like the perspective change from third to first person.
Yes.
Because to me, horror is much more immersive in video games if it's first person. And that segues to the next point. This is how you do VR. This isn't a side mission. This isn't a tech demo. They were just straight up saying, you can play this start to fucking finish in VR if you want to. That's
a lot of that.
Right? That's how it should be.
That's like telling me I can play Alien Isolation on my Morpheus.
In the previous episode, when I was talking about how if VR in this iteration sticks around at all, it is because Sony willed it into existence with shit like this. Because, like, I mean, you play the entirety of the game. You'll be locked in a closet after that because you won't be able to speak to human beings anymore. But that's how it should be. It shouldn't be a side thing for an hour. You know, it should be, if you really want it to stick, the best games have to be accessible start to finish in VR. Anything else to add with Resident Evil 7, Ron?
I just want to play it.
They got my $60. Next up, one that might have my $60. It's looking pretty good so far. It's fucking Days Gone, dude. And you want to talk about taking full fucking effect from that orchestra?
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Now, they did all the music during that video, right?
Yeah. At least the good shit towards the end.
Yeah.
Days Gone is a brand new IP. It was kind of like, I think we talked about when we watched the trailer, kind of like half Dying Light, half The Last of Us, a little bit like that.
Yeah, with some elements from World War Z going on.
It was kind of Last of Us in tone and graphics, but the gameplay core, like, how many bullets do you think he shoots in that trailer?
I don't know.
Like,
the graphics are so detailed. You see the hammer on the gun
it's gorgeous,
going
too.
back and forth as he's shooting. It's crazy.
This is also a good sign. This is a brand new IP that Sony was confident enough in that they ended their fucking conference with a 15-minute like gameplay demo. That's ballsy for a new IP.
Yeah, it is.
It looked great. The fucking orchestra made it even better. Ron pointed out World War Z, and my note in our notes for it was actually the zombie horde physics were stunning because it's straight up fucking World War Z when they're crawling all over each other. Like, it's creepy.
That was so much more unnerving than it even was in World War Z.
Yeah, who started up that whole thing?
Yeah.
They even like did it better than them who started it. Like,
because it was a fluid. Like, apparently, zombies are liquid. Because that was horrifying.
Really, really cool trailer. You think that's got your $60?
I don't know.
I'd lean in more towards $60. I think like it was pretty damn good trailer.
I'll borrow your $60.
Okay. You know what? Might depend on how long it ends up being.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, if it's 8 or 10 hours and I feel confident I can get it done in a weekend, rent. if it's Last of Us time frame, like 15, 18, that might be worth $60 if it's that good.
Yeah.
I have to wait and see. I'm obviously not a pre-orderer.
At the very least, it's a rental. At the very least.
Very, very least, I agree. One of the other ones that blew everyone's goddamn minds were...
I love your note on this.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Which I actually intentionally didn't tell you what you were watching because I wanted to see if you had the same reaction I did. I watched this whole fucking awesome trailer. At the end of it, they pop up Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I was like, whoa. I've been watching Call of Duty for 10 minutes? No goddamn way.
You remember us making fun of that name? Because isn't that what all the Call of Duty franchise is?
It is. I'm not gonna. It is a pretty terrible name. But you gotta give them that trailer and gameplay. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It was.
Did you want to tell him my note since you brought it up?
Surprisingly not terrible.
Yeah, I've been kind of... This was the one... They released that, cinematic teaser, I think, that had, 75% dislikes or some shit like that. You remember that? We actually reported on it, I think. I'm actually kind of sold. It's not $60. I will not give Call of Duty $60 anymore. Yeah. But if you're going to give me an 8-hour campaign with Kit Harington as the villain,
and
I will rent that.
And the ability to grapple hook fuckers towards you.
In space. And fucking knee their helmets off to suffocate them.
Or stick a grenade to them and shove them away from you.
See, now I'm leaning towards $60. Why you have to go into that? No,
so you can do that to me over and over again, you dick.
Right. I think this is a rent for me, though. I think I'll actually check it out for the single player. I still actually want to rent the Kevin Spacey one, too.
Yeah.
The Kevin Spacey, Troy Baker one. Everyone liked that campaign. So, we don't fucking play Call of Duty for the multiplayer. We are playing it for the story for me and the zombies for you. We are like the absolute opposite of what they're actually going for.
Pretty much.
But I like their trailer. So you'll be running it?
I don't know. It doesn't have a zombies mode, I don't
think.
The
fact that it's even a question for you shows that they did a good trailer, I think.
Yeah. The trailer was incredible. The gameplay looks incredible. I'm just not too big into, who they market towards.
I agree. The last thing they had about Call of Duty was with Infinite Warfare, you will be getting... I think it might be the special edition for Infinite Warfare. One of them, I forget... We'll be getting the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 1, everyone's favorite, the best I think they made. Getting a remaster. And this was not an HD upres, this was from the ground up remaster.
Really?
Yeah, they put a lot of time and effort into it because it's everyone's favorite. So, if you're interested in that one, you can definitely go and check out trailers for the COD 4 remaster. Ron, why don't you take away the next one? Because this one might be your best in show.
Oh... my god, dude. What did we get that blew everyone's fucking minds? Spider-Man PlayStation 4 exclusive. Holy shit.
I'm pretty sure a whole lot of future firstborns have been sold,
dude,
in order to get Sony exclusivity for this.
Here's the thing. If the 10 or 15 minutes of Tom Holland as Spider-Man in Civil War... I guess spoilers for Civil War. Was the
I hadn't seen that yet, you dick.
Was the best Spider-Man movie we've ever seen. This trailer was the second best Spider-Man movie we've ever seen. Because it was everything you've ever wanted from Spider-Man in a game. And some of it was gameplay, some of it was cinematic. All of it was fucking fantastic.
And I want it now.
You had the idea when you see the Marvel logo and you hear Queens and all that it's like, surely it's not. Because there hasn't been a great Spider-Man game in a long-ass time. And then they don't even hold back. He just fucking pops into frame in, the first 10 seconds?
And they hit the ground fucking running.
Oh, and it was... everything I love about Spider-Man.
All the gameplay where he's weaving in between cars and traffic. He goes through a skyscraper window. It looked really cool.
And the thing that I always loved about Spider-Man in the older games and what they emulated in The Amazing Spider-Man is the way he moves and the way that he fights. Spider-Man, yeah, he's strong, yeah, he can fight and all stuff, but he's mostly agility. Everything he does is bouncing around like fucking Yoda with a lightsaber, and he's very web-heavy. He tries not to, as you've said before, he's second in strength only to the Hulk, really. he's kind of afraid to punch people, even though that he does, because he doesn't want to kill them, and he can very easily accidentally. So he's very web heavy, everything that he does. And that's exactly what you see in this trailer.
I want it.
I want it now. Exclusive to PS4. Fuck you, Xbone.
I was okay. First of all, I want to point out I was so happy I didn't hear about this ahead of time. Apparently, it had been leaked that Spider-Man was going to be getting a game at E3. I don't know if they knew ahead of time it was going to be an exclusive or not, but I didn't hear about it at all. So I'm just watching the fucking Sony conference, and then fucking Spider-Man on PS4 pops up. I was like stunned. I didn't know about it at all.
How heavy of a hand did Marvel have in this game? Because it was the way he moves, the way he
had
acts,
the Civil War eyes, for Christ's sake.
the way he talks, everything was identical to the Tom Holland Spider-Man from Civil War.
Yeah, man, I want to know how big that check was to get exclusivity for that. That is fucking huge.
The costume was ballsy too.
The movie comes out next year.
Yeah,
like it is about to be Spider-Man Fever again, and they got exclusivity for it. Crazy.
Yeah.
The most shocking thing from E3 for me was this.
Yeah, I agree.
I couldn't believe it. The costume I don't love. I do appreciate the ballsiness of changing it up. Spider-Man is
it's kind of the best things that everybody loved about all the costumes combined.
Spider-Man is kind of like Batman. He said a bajillion fucking costumes. It almost doesn't matter because, like you pointed out, they're probably gonna have skins that you can change.
I'm sure there's gonna be like a classic Spider-Man skin. There's gonna be everything.
Everyone freaked out back in the comics age when he had a black costume. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Is the black costume. So we'll have to wait and see. I thought it looked fine. It didn't detract from the game.
Oh, not at all. Even if that's the only costume, I don't give a fuck. Give me that game.
Yeah.
Dude, when he's zipping through that building, through the windows of that building, oh.
I want it. And I want it fucking now, Ron. We actually don't even have a title yet. So what I imagine is they'll come out next year at E3, actually have more footage and a date.
That was the other thing. For how much shit they showed you of that game, and it to have stayed under wraps, it's fairly far into its development.
And we actually don't know who the villain, or at least the main villain's probably going to be yet. So that was kind of cool. I like being surprised by it. But yeah, I bet holiday 2017.
You think?
I think it's going to be real late 2017, unfortunately. Or hopefully they don't rush it for the movie and make it and hurt the game.
Since it's not a movie tie-in,
but
I don't foresee that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like there's going to be Spider-Man Fever regardless.
Yeah. So
you don't need to rush it.
They're basically jumping on the bandwagon because they saw Civil War 2. They know that Tom Holland is on the street corner for Marvel from
Spider-Man Fever is about to hit in a big bad way and not let up anytime soon. Let's move on from that and talk about they actually had a whole section for PSVR.
Okay, so back to Spider-Man.
It is releasing October 13th with 50 launch titles.
That's the crazy thing.
I don't know how the shit they got 50 launch titles. One of the ones they had demoed, I don't think it was actually gameplay. It might have been. I don't know. It was kind of vague. Battlefront X-Wing mission. Keyword mission.
Yes, it's not an entire game.
Now, I can't complain too much because this is one of the things I specifically asked for and basically called them a goddamn fool if they didn't, because Star Wars cockpit action is bread and butter for VR.
Yes.
If you're going to do VR, you need to have some Star Wars vehicle combat.
And I think it might be kind of smarter than an entire game because, I mean,
I'm already going to throw up if I try it.
Not only that, it's going to be, after a while, it's kind of the same old thing on a different map. So a single mission makes sense, I think.
You can give me a whole lot of missions before I get tired of it. I'm actually kind of concerned. Like, I'm interested in checking out VR, but I just almost know I'm going to end up liking it and not be able to physically play it because it'll make me sick. You know, some people are like that. Yeah, although I do really like the idea, I'm curious to see where they go with it and how much they end up charging for these if they're going to be just like quick missions.
Yeah.
It's actually another interesting question about the VR stuff is where you set price points because it's never been done before, really. Now, one of the other things that kind of broke E3 with this.
This surprised me also.
So, first of all, how metal was that trailer?
Oh my god.
So, this is another thing. I don't know. I don't know if this
I've watched it like 6 or 7 times.
I don't know if this leaked or not at all ahead of time. I didn't know about it at all.
I'm glad I didn't see
This blew my fucking mind because they pop up in the middle of the VR thing. Fucking Mark Hamill voiceover as the Joker, and eventually, and first of all,
and some of the best dialogue I've ever heard from the Joker.
Mark Hamill crushing it as always. Batman Arkham VR by Rocksteady, exclusive to Sony.
To be fair, they said they were done with the Arkham games. They didn't say they were done with Batman.
Well, it's listed as it's actually named Batman Arkham VR. So Rocksteady is doing, I know it's a little VR thing, but Rocksteady is doing a Batman VR game that is exclusive to Sony. It would have been a goddamn mindfuck if they got one out of Batman and Spider-Man. They got fucking both of them.
They got both of them.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
I was freaking out. Now, have you actually heard any of the details behind this? Because some of it is fascinating.
No,
what
I
they've
have
done
not.
With it. So,
please.
do you remember one of the things we liked so much about Arkham Origins, and it was the hologram crime scene stuff?
Yes.
You walk and manually control the holograms for the crime scenes, and you use it to piece together a murder mystery. That's fucking awesome VR application right there.
Yes.
That is incredible. That if they pull it off, it's fucking awesome. That is the one that has most gripped my attention. I really want to I want to solve a murder as Batman.
Wearing the cowl.
Wearing the goddamn cowl. And the visuals in the trailer, too, are really cool. Like, the very end, they pop on the white eyes. Oh,
yes.
It's things are happening in my nether region just talking about it. It's so fucking cool. I want to check it out. And that's the unfortunate thing about this VR stuff. I literally don't know how I'm supposed to be able to check this out without going out and dropping $400 that I don't have to buy it.
And we still haven't even heard if the PlayStation 4 current generation can play it.
I'm pretty sure it can, because they actually were demoing it.
Were they?
Yeah, because all my details.
Because what concerned me about the PlayStation 4K is that I know a lot of stuff like the Morpheus and not Morpheus, but Oculus and stuff like that requires a graphics card capable of 4K. So that kind of worried me when they announced PlayStation 4K, that maybe PlayStation VR would only work on it.
With this one, with Batman specifically, the article I read where I got all my details from was someone who was able to demo it at E3. They had it as a playable demo. They haven't done any of the Neo shit, so, and if it's a Sony exclusive, it was only running on the PS4 currently. I didn't hear any complaints about the gameplay as far as it being jittery or anything. So from everything I've heard,
for VR, it doesn't have to divide the frame rate.
I honestly haven't looked into the specifications.
I thought it worked kind of like 3D movies where each eye kind of gets its own vision. So that was the reason for the 4K hardware PCs.
From what I've heard, though, I heard no complaints about this Batman one.
Awesome.
So I want to check that shit out now, man.
Yeah.
So bad. Anything else to add to Batman? Other than it was fucking awesome and I can't believe that it's exclusive?
I still don't know what to say.
If anyone needed to get exclusive Spider-Man and Batman, it is not Sony, it is Microsoft. And how did they let them do that?
They have the trifecta, dude. They've got Spider-Man, Batman, and Kojima.
Crushed it, dude. Crushed it.
This was Sony's year. This was the year of Sony.
Yeah, I mean, you combine this with Microsoft still having to deal with bad PR over the Don Matrix stuff and the launch of the Xbox One. They are still having...
Which they acknowledged in their own fucking video.
Yeah.
We read the reviews.
If anyone needed this conference, it was not Sony, and they went out of their way
to get it.
To fucking... Oh, it was just awesome to watch. It was awesome. Although I do feel kind of bad for like people like my friend Reese, who is a ginormous Spider-Man fan and can't play this because he only has an Xbox One. But
it's okay. He can come over and watch us play.
Yeah. He can have a lot of fun watching us play.
Hey, guys, can I play? No.
But I warned him. I told him to get a PS4. Next up, Crash Bandicoot is getting a PS4 remaster. You and I have actually... Have you ever played Crash Bandicoot?
I have never. I had a buddy that was into it.
Everyone who seems to like it is like obsessed with Crash Bandicoot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will give them this though. The best thing I've ever seen of Crash Bandicoot was the Sony guy walking out on stage and his shadow was Crash Bandicoot.
Awesome.
That was great.
Awesome. I would pay money just to walk out on stage and have that happen. Just to check it out. It's getting a PS4 remaster. Crash Bandicoot is also appearing in Skylanders, to much rejoicing from nobody.
It got a fairly decent reaction.
Yeah, but Skylanders...
I didn't even know Skylanders was still going that strong.
Skylanders now is not LEGO Dimensions. That's what it's referred to as. Because all of that group of people who were into that moved on to the Disney Infinity shit and like LEGO Dimensions. That's. I think Skylanders is kind of... It's probably still doing fine, but you don't really need to be pimping it out at E3. But yeah... This was being remastered by a separate company, so it is not going to hinder any internal development for other Naughty Dog games. I don't know if you know, but Crash Bandicoot was actually Naughty Dog.
Was it really?
Yeah. So it is not hindering Last of Us 2 or anything that they might be doing next. So that was the positive for me. And the last thing they showed, or one of the last things they showed, was Lego Force Awakens. I've never really been into the Lego games. You seem to have fallen off of them.
Yeah, they used to be a pretty good mix of like action and puzzle. And they have gone more the way of puzzle, which, as you like to say, to me it kind of feels lazy because they don't really have to do much.
Especially when they're just directly taking movie dialogue.
Yeah, so I think the problem is they just got to where they had to crank them out too fast. But I think the first time Lego Pirates, I think was the first time I felt that.
Honestly, the only Lego thing that interests me at all, just because of how batshit it is Dimensions. Just because it's now. First of all, I couldn't afford it if I wanted to because it's fucking crazy. You have to pay like what $20 for every expansion.
I don't think it's quite that
15,
much.
10.
The Doctor Who one was worth it.
If you go all out, you're paying a goddamn fortune though.
It's like $80 for the base game because it has to have the platform.
Yeah,
that little game board's what drives me nuts. I hate shit like that. So.
I actually do like their concepts though, for just how like fucking E.T. and Ghostbusters and shit like that. Getting Lego Dimension stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lego Force Awakens though.
Best vehicle in the game is the TARDIS, by the way.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Because if the question ever arises,
you can full on War Doctor things. You can just ram it into all the enemies and everything and kill them.
I need to borrow Lego Dimensions. That's all for the Sony conference, though. What a glorious conference it was. Ron.
Oh my god!
What a glorious!
If you're not a Sony fan, then I am sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was. They already. I mean, they've already sold like double the consoles, and this was literally all of the final nails in the coffin with a giant middle finger hammering them down.
I mean, would you say that at least this chapter of the console wars is closed?
It hasn't been a war for the last 3 years. It was a goddamn slaughter.
Massacre.
Yeah.
Speaking of a slaughter, let's go to Nintendo.
I don't know. You're not into this, but they kind of crushed it within their own fan base. Like, it's got a lot of positive.
I feel like their fan base isn't the same people that it used to be.
Well, I think... Well, give more details before we jump in.
Okay, so... the goddamn Zelda game that was supposed to be out 4 years ago? 3 years ago? Something like that?
I don't even know. I've lost track.
It was supposed to launch with the Wii U. And then it didn't.
Was it really?
It was supposed to launch with the Wii U.
Jesus.
So...
And then...
a lot of people that rushed out and bought a Wii U, like our Nintendo Phil, was under the guise that they're gonna get a Zelda game, because very rarely is there not a Zelda game on launch with a Nintendo console, and still ain't got one. But we finally have a title, which I'm not too crazy about, Breath of the Wild.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. This is whatever.
Don't even know what that means, and it's very generic to me. To me...
Yeah, their names are usually not, like, groundbreakingly different, though. Like...
A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening...
well, I'm obviously biased to those, but, like, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, like, they're not always, like...
Breath of the Wild... Here's my problem with Breath of the Wild, mostly. No Man's Sky, everybody's favorite game. Expansive, right? That was exactly last E3, I think it was, when you finally saw a teaser trailer for this game. That's one thing they kept saying all the time was how big the world is. Exactly like the way No Man's Sky does. And all the early reports of people that saw any footage from it or got to touch any of it or whatever they got to do was that it was basically horseback riding the game because it was so big. Well, now it's called Breath of the Wild because I'm guessing you're just out in the wild breathing.
One of the people who were talking with people at the Treehouse presentation thing who actually got hands-on, one of their first selling points to your point about this whole thing was they said it is 12 times approximately the size of Twilight Princess. And you said Twilight Princess. First of all, how long of a game was Twilight Princess roughly, if you beat the entirety of it?
Going main story or like completionist?
Let's do main story.
I mean, you could probably run it in 30 hours, but you're probably looking at like 40, 50.
12 times the size of that? People are going to be playing Zelda for a long time.
Usually, a lot of websites and stuff, it's listed as 60 plus, but you could probably do it in 40, 50.
12 times. Now, okay. I have no dog in this fight because I guess neither one of us do. Neither one of us is going to be getting a Wii U, obviously.
Yeah, no. Not happening.
And neither one of us is going to be shelling out money for an NX because...
Exactly.
Nice. And as I just said, I like A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. That's Zelda to me.
Yeah.
Not the 3D ones. Now, this game to me, Breath of the Wild, did nothing to make me want to run out and buy an NX or a Wii U, and I didn't hate it. I thought it was perfectly fine. I am totally in agreement with you on the whole No Man's Sky thing, because if like the first or even second thing you're pimping out about your game is how big and expansive it is, that screams to me, oh, I don't want to play your game because there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
I would rather, this is personal preference, some people are the exact opposite, I would rather play a completely badass 8 or 10 hour video game than play a mediocre 60 hour one, because to me, I want to walk away wanting more from your game than wishing it had ended 20 hours earlier.
I cannot tell you how many times I have blown through Ocarina of Time. I fucking love that game. It's my favorite Zelda game. And it was the first one on Nintendo 64. And I don't do 100% completion of a Zelda game because that's fucking nuts. That's like getting all the flags in Assassin's Creed.
Or all the Riddler trophies.
Or all the Riddler trophies.
Fuck them for the
all
Riddler
those pieces of heart, man. That's the original Riddler trophies, the pieces of heart.
That's all Batman VR is. You go VR collect the Riddler trophies.
But the replayability in that game, a lot of it is due to the fact that the area sizes are just right. Like you were talking about Dark Souls 3, how to you it's not as replayable as the first one because of how much larger the areas are. Because the first time it wows you, the second time it's a chore.
And I'm the Sunbro amongst us. I fucking love Souls, and even I. And there's shit to do in that too.
There's shit to do.
There's shit to kill all over the place, and I still feel like it's a chore, like you said.
Ocarina of Time was the perfect balance of like traversing the area and monster attacks and stuff like that. It was just an awesome blend. That gets harder to do the bigger the game gets, and this game is fucking huge.
Yeah, I'm worried about the size of it. Basically, my takeaway is I didn't think this was amazing. I didn't think this was bad. It just was not for me. And as I pointed out earlier, the Nintendo fans are eating the shit up because it was at like 98% like to dislike ratio. Zelda fans seem to be those type of fans where if you just put a new Zelda game and it is playable, they will flock to it and then it's that the takeaway you get. They seem to be obsessed with it regardless of what you throw at them.
Yeah, and that's half the problem because there's nothing right about this game. I don't like a single goddamn thing I've seen about it. The graphics, I can't even stand to look at it.
I am not as into Zelda as...
I'm not even a graphics whore, and I cannot stand to look at it.
I thought, to me, it seemed to be more like they were almost going towards the soft kind of appearance of the... animation seemed to me like they were almost trying to invoke Miyazaki.
A little bit, but more
It's not
Looney
as-
Tuny. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't.
It wasn't striking to me.
Yeah, I don't. It's weird because it's kind of like they went between a weird combination because the environment and stuff, it kind of worked, but then everything has this gloss and shine to it, and it's kind of bubbly looking, and I don't know.
Unfortunately, we'll never be able to have a concrete opinion because we'll probably never play it.
Yeah, and the one person we know that definitely won't come on our podcast. So.
I will say, I ended up asking about it earlier today, I think. And he is super excited for this. He really liked it. So,
God damn it!
I'm telling you, man, the Nintendo Bros are ape shit for this right now. They are all about it.
And they're the problem. They're the reason why I can't get another Zelda game in my life.
I just want a Link Between Worlds.
The last one that had amazing graphics and gameplay to me, I couldn't play because it was motion control, and that drives me nuts.
Did you like A Link to the Past?
Link to the Past, the Super Nintendo one?
Yeah. Then you would like A Link Between Worlds. Because it's a complete sequel to it, and it's awesome.
I know, I just abandoned Zelda altogether, and it makes me sad because that was based on my favorite video game franchise.
Play A Link Between Worlds. It's awesome.
Is that 3DS?
I think you can. I don't remember if it was yet or not, but I could let you. I haven't touched my 3DS.
There's a 2DS somewhere in this house.
Yeah, I can let you actually use it for that. I think I borrowed it from Phil. You had to borrow it from Phil, but you should. It's a good game. I thought I had bought it, but I just borrowed it from Phil. Yeah, I think that's just about all we have to say about Zelda, though, which was hilarious to me because that's all they fucking had to show besides Pokemon.
Yeah,
it was just all Zelda.
Basically, they're two cash cows.
It kind of worked for them just because of how much goddamn attention Zelda has gotten.
And the way they just keep stringing along the fans, I don't like either. I'm convinced this game's never coming out.
I know I will give them kudos because it is going to be a simultaneous launch with the NX. At least, for the love of God, they had a goddamn title at launch.
It was supposed to with the Wii U.
No, I'm saying that is completely accurate, but at least at some point in the last 15 years, Nintendo will actually have a game at launch worth buying for their fans, and that has not happened in a while.
They just now got Star Fox.
There was no Metroid in the entirety of Wii U. How the fuck does that happen?
I don't know.
Yeah, seriously. The other thing they had at Nintendo was a whole lot of Pokemon Sun and Moon stuff.
Meh.
I really like the idea, if it works, of their Battle Royale mode, just because it sounded chaotic and crazy.
What is that?
This was 4-player multiplayer.
Nope. Done already.
There were no rules, so you can gang up and be an asshole against certain people if you want to, and that sounded kind of entertaining. Because you just have Pokemon.
Fuck your Pikachu.
Pokemon is already just kind of crazy in the way the multiplayer works, but you throw on 4-player free-for-all fuck it. I can kind of get behind that. That sounds kind of cool. They showed, did you see Trepamon? I didn't show you the picture of it, but the pissed off one?
Yeah.
His design looks like he has a toupee.
Like Donald Trump.
So the internet has gone wild with the Trump memes and stuff, and it's just awesome. I love the internet sometimes. I actually liked Pokemon games, but I am horribly behind. Ron used to, and like every other video game series, no longer likes it.
It fucking Nintendo, man. They just done everything they can to turn me away from them. They don't want my money, evidently.
They won't make a Metroid game. It took them 30 years to make another Zelda game. It took them 10 years to make a Star Fox.
I'm not even convinced this game even exists.
It took them 10 years to make a Star Fox game that was mediocre by all accounts. When's the last Mario thing that came out?
I don't know. It seems like every other day.
They had Year of Luigi. That was the last time I remember hearing about Mario. How was... I found it kind of odd we didn't actually get any NX stuff because they've been talking it up like it's like getting close to being a thing.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they saw the Microsoft conference and just said, "Fuck Scorpio, we have to go back to the drawing board."
I don't even know. Microsoft too. Nintendo makes me scratch my head.
Yeah,
a lot at pretty much all of their decision making. I don't really get it.
I haven't seen any decision making. That's my problem with Nintendo. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they really didn't give us much to talk about with Nintendo, so that's their own fault. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Our final thing is, what was your best in show out of the entirety of E3 2016? Ron?
Sony, and then we have.
Oh yeah. The Sony conference obviously won.
Yeah.
There's not even like, what was funny is I actually told Ron this yesterday. I put on Facebook talking about how I was incredibly disappointed in the Microsoft showing, because when Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo are all at each other's throats and having to fight for your dollar, the gamer wins, because that necessity to get our dollars breeds creativity and good games. And when Sony just comes swinging their gigantic dick on the stage and crushes everybody, it's good to be a Sony fan. But man, we win more when they're all fighting each other, and it's not happening. So, do you know what your favorite is? Your best in show? It doesn't necessarily have to be your favorite, but just best in show overall out of everything. Mine might actually surprise you, because I think I have an answer for mine.
Do you? I'm scrolling back through the notes here.
I'm going to say outside of South Park. South Park's kind of the obvious one, so I'll go non-obvious for mine.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I had my mind blown so many times this year.
E3 with overall thoughts, fantastic.
Oh,
the trailers, the music, as Ron
pointed out.
This is
the best E3.
The best E3 I think I've ever seen. All of the shit seemed to be cool. Trailers were great. I wish Hollywood would actually get some of these trailer designers, as we said. You want me to tell you mine?
I think mine's Spider-Man.
Yours is Spider-Man. Just a very, very strong choice. Resident Evil 7.
Really?
Was my best in show.
That's not that surprising.
Because with Resident Evil 7, it's Spider-Man and like South Park. That'd be, I think, my more natural go-to. But if there been a Soulsborne thing, that would have been mine.
We've talked enough about this stuff over our 60-something episodes of the podcast that I had a feeling it might be like something like Resident Evil or Prey or something like that.
Prey's fucking strong too, because that trailer's awesome.
See, but I knew it.
with Resident Evil 7, what won me over was because I was devastated at the cancellation of Silent Hills. I really, really badly wanted that game, and they made it happen.
Yeah. Resident Evil is probably in my top, I don't know about top 3, top 5 from E3 for sure.
With Resident Evil, to me, they did pretty much everything right with it.
That we know of, yeah.
They actually had a demo out that was playable immediately for PS Plus subscribers. That's really cool. They didn't have to do that. I'm not the world's biggest VR person, but I'm intrigued by it. And I've always said, if you want to make it stick, the major games have to be playable start to finish. You can't throw out fucking side bullshit and expect it to stay.
And you can't just throw out games willy-nilly. I mean, they went with some big names, and they did some really cool stuff with those names.
There's a lot of cool concepts going down with it.
I mean, I guess I'm not against VR, but I'm definitely not for it. But I have to admit, they're doing some cool stuff.
Yeah, it's not fucking kickball like the Kinect, which was what I was worried about.
They're not treating it like the gimmick I thought they would. So, yeah, I'll give them that.
With Resident Evil, to finish my point on it,
oh yeah,
we have a concrete release date. Whether it actually gets released on that, we don't know. But there's a demo now.
Games hardly ever make their first release date.
That's a good sign, though. It's not just a theoretical and development game like a lot of them are.
Yeah.
And you just want to talk about brilliant fucking business decisions, dude. The two big horror titles.
I am shocked that Just Dance was not your number one.
I buried the lead. It's actually Just Dance. No, but with Resident Evil, the two biggest horror titles are Silent Hill and Resident Evil. And with this, it's such a stroke of genius because they got the Silent Hills people and the Silent Hill people. They were intrigued by PT, and all the Resident Evil diehards are buying it because it's fucking Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
It was just absolute genius to me in every way. I absolutely thought it was just brilliant, their whole approach to it.
You know someone else that I think this E3 did really well? They had a lot of hit and miss, but their hits were strong, that's Bethesda. That was actually quite surprising what they had coming out.
Dishonored 2 looks fun.
Prey,
I'm all over.
Quake
looked really cool. And then you get to Wolfenstein. If they would have had a Wolfenstein teaser, I would have gotten even more apeshit for it. Yeah, pretty much. The thing that sucks about Bethesda is I pretty much usually love all of their stuff outside of, you know,
all
how
their other stuff.
you know how you have a big problem with the X-Men movies as you feel like they're stuck in 2004.
Yeah.
Specifically, the Elder Scrolls games and Fallout right now feel to me like they're stuck in 2007. And people keep clamoring back to them, freaking out about them. And I'm like, dude, they're really not all that great. And you really need, like, Fallout 4 looking like that and playing like it did, to me, was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of those two titles, I really like all of Bethesda's showings, too.
Yeah, this was a strong E3 for them. They didn't, get the showing that Sony got, but I said they have a lot of hit and miss, but when they hit it big.
Anything else you feel like we didn't touch on?
No.
I would really like a concrete way to fucking try VR. I'm really curious about how, like...
You know what they need? They need one of those fucking trucks that just drives around. Like the semi-tractor trailer that just opens up when it parks somewhere.
Sony has VR, get in the van.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you would like to check us out more, please like and subscribe. That gets you all of our commentaries, Let's Plays, podcast galore. We have Facebook and Twitter links in the description below. If you know anyone else who would also like to check us out, potentially, we'd really, really appreciate the share. And with that, I am Jeff.
I am Ron.
And we will see you guys next time. I'm so excited that E3 is done. I love you, E3, but I'm fucking exhausted because I've been working on either notes or talking about this shit since like fucking Sunday. So
yeah.
I'm gonna go take a nap. Bye, guys.